RingCentral integration. RingCentral is a well-known VoIP supplier, and we use it at work. And to John's point earlier, one of our customers came to us saying, could you make RingCentral do stuff for us? Could you integrate with it in such a way that when somebody calls in, we can access that somebody's record within Workbooks quickly and easily? So that's what we've done. So in terms of what it provides, in effect, when somebody calls in, you'll get a pop-up that shows you who it is that's calling, caller ID. So you can decide whether or not you want to take that call. Have you got the time to have a chat with them, or is it someone you've been waiting to hear from? And if you choose, you can then screen pop that person's record within Workbooks. So you've got all the information about them in front of you. RingCentral itself automatically records any calls that you've had. So you get that functionality anyway. And at the click of a button, if you choose to, you can create a phone call task record, a completed one, in Workbooks to reflect that call that came in. And if you do that, the call recording will be linked to it. So you've got access to it from within Workbooks. You don't have to go into RingCentral to find it. So why bother? In terms of the benefits, it should improve productivity. It means that your colleagues, when you're answering the phone, you don't have to spend time searching around for, oh yeah, I've got to find Joe Bloggs' record, I've got to search, I'm not quite sure where it is, have I spelt their name correctly, all of that stuff. It also, it tracks how long you spend on the phone. Won't bother some of you, but some of you will want to know how long your colleagues are spending on the telephone. Because of the call recordings, you can use those for help with training and development. You can re-listen to the content of the call. And ultimately, it should provide your customers with a better experience, because when they ring in, if you pop up that person's record in front of you, you'll have all their details to hand and can talk to them a bit more knowledgeably when they ring in. So, back to the product. So here I am in Workbooks, and you can see towards the bottom right, there is a little widget that we've embedded in Workbooks. That's RingCentral. If I open it up like this, I've got the... You'd have thought he knew I was doing a presentation, wouldn't you? Let's just ignore that call from John. Don't take it personally, John. So yes, there's an embedded widget within Workbooks. You saw then that it popped up when he called. And if I was to get another call, a similar thing will happen. Oh, here we go. Alan Whitehead. I've been expecting Alan to call. I was hoping he would ring today. So I can click on, we happen to have an image for him. Clicking on that opens up his person record, and then I can choose to answer it, but I've now got his information in front of me. So I'm now, imaginary, talking to Alan, having a chat, sorting out whatever it is that we need to sort out. Chat, chat, chat. I've got the usual kind of functionality, like I can put it on hold, flip the call, conference other people in. That's RingCentral functionality, but it's at your fingertips within Workbooks. So we've had a good old chat. End of the call. If I go to this history option towards the top of this dialog box, you can see Alan called, and before that John called. His record's red because I rejected the call. And to the right is a kind of paper and pencil symbol. When there's a red dot next to it, if I hover over it, we might even get the help text. It allows me to log that call into Workbooks if I choose. If there's a green dot next to it, there should be one somewhere down here, this one, it means that call has already been logged in Workbooks. And if I click, move this out of the way for you, that's the call that happened however long ago it happened, on the 16th, a couple of days ago. We've set this particular phone call record, this form, up in such a way as we're capturing all the call details here. You don't have to expose those if you don't want to, but we will capture them and track them in any case. And you can see there are bits of detail about when it happened, what time, how long the call was, whether it was inbound, and that sort of thing. You can also see the call recording linked to it here. I'll come out of that one. If I go back to the call I just received today from Alan and click on it, that's how I make that log within Workbooks. I can add extra information. I can put the content of our call into the description, all the usual things you'd expect. I can enter an outcome and what the next steps are and do a follow-on call if I choose to. None of that has changed. We're just leveraging the fact that RingCentral generated this record for us. Some people might say, why don't you just automatically create that task? It might be because the phone call was a wrong number. It might be because the phone call didn't have any material value and you don't particularly want to track it within Workbooks. That's why we've provided you with the option to click and record that yourselves if you choose to. So that's an overview. Oh, actually, there is one other thing I wanted to tell you about RingCentral. I've talked about inbound calls, but you can track outbound calls as well. And one really nice feature, if you can see here, if I start typing somebody's name in, it will find that somebody. And I can just dial them this way. So we've got the functionality that we've had in Workbooks for a long time, which is the ability to click on a telephone number on a person record. You can still do that, and that will open up RingCentral. Or you can type in the person name. You can actually type in the organisation name. Maybe you know you want to call Atlantic Computer Services, but you can't quite remember the name of the person there. Start typing the organisation name. You'll get a list of the people. So that's quite a nice extra bit of functionality.